Oh, holy crap. Who let you in? Since you're here, welcome to Ringworm. Welcome to, I think it's my birthday actually. No joke, I'm gonna check. It is. It is. I picked the right day. Oh, baby. I woke up at like 5 o'clock, listened to music for a couple hours. Looked at the thermometer, it was 38 and drizzling outside, so I just went back to bed for a couple hours. It's lovely. Let's see what time it is. Okay, it's 9:30, so when I'm out here, I try to use my birthday every year to do nothing. At least no physical work, even though the work is fun, so it's not really like that big a break. But this did land on a perfectly miserable weather day, which I think is fantastic. Only because it was going to be cold and drizzly, I decided to sleep in here last night. And I gotta admit, it was kind of nice to get up and kick the heater on. It's actually pretty cold in here right now. Sitting on a real couch with a real blanket, reading a book is it's kind of nice. So yesterday I was thinking about what would I want to do today. This is, it's kind of going to be like a condensed version of Party Week, because Party Week, that's all we do. We think of all the most funnest things and try to do it every day, all day. The only thing I did to plan ahead for this is I went and got a uber expensive apple pie, custom made, may I say, just so I can have my favorite breakfast there is. I also got a couple of ribeye steaks, so okay, I did plan ahead. If it's not pouring rain, I'm gonna have a fire. I don't know, maybe I'll start at midday, get some good coals going. And then this evening, we'll do some potatoes with, I think I still have that jar of truffles from Party Week. A ribeye on the fire. I'm already excited. And also, before I need to drain the hot tub, I'd like to use it one more time. So maybe around the same time, I'll light the fire underneath that. Oh, it'd be great if I could eat a ribeye right as it's getting dark and then go hop in the hot tub for a nice long soak. I kind of need another, you want another M&M? Other than that, if the weather gets bad, I'm going to lower down the movie theater, although I don't really have window shades in here, so I'm not sure how well that'll work midday. And I'd also really like to get in some shooting on the speed side of the shooting range, which I haven't used much in the last few months. So let's grab another cup of coffee. We'll go make some amazing breakfast. And then we'll just see how the day unfolds. By the way, do I have sleep chunks in my eyes? Do I got boogies? I was out yesterday cutting up some brush and some downed trees, and I was so freaking happy all day just because the weather was so cool. I think it was a high of like 48. It was pretty windy, which isn't ideal for, I was burning stuff too. But holy moly do I like the fall. Fall, winter, spring, best times of the year. Summer, not so much. Woo! Somebody made a mess already. You guys might remember me talking about this before, but Tito and I do a track every day, all sorts of different music. We pick an album, and then every morning listen to one track, listen to it several times, read about it. Yesterday morning we finished the Chris Christopherson album. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And this morning we started Kendrick Lamar's Damn. That's a big change, isn't it? I love it. I love getting challenged on new music. I especially like these huge swings from old country music to metal or rock or rap or something, stuff I don't know. But you take your time with any album, not any album, but any of the great albums. Listen to it enough times and you will perhaps end up loving it, and then finding this whole new wing of music that wasn't really accessible to your brain before. Let's do this. Let's dig into that apple pie. Aha! I was wondering where that went. I've seen it about 1,000 times, then last night when I needed it I couldn't find it. Got plenty of firewood to cook a steak, don't you think? I've tried 3 times in the last 3 to 4 weeks to do another Patreon table carving, but since I'm trying to keep this table in decent shape, I need to carve the names, varnish over them immediately, and then I need the varnish to dry. And if the temperature is going to be too cool or there's going to be rain in the next 24 hours, I just can't do it. But I am going to get one more giant table carving in before everything freezes, I promise you. And you know my promises, well, they're not really good for much of anything, but I'm going to try. Little bacon to start things off. Got some real farm fresh eggs left over from the party. I guess that means they're not fresh anymore, but man, they sure are better than store eggs. A little bit of aged cheddar. A lot of aged cheddar. Let's see, how about a quarter of a pie for breakfast? This is a seriously heavy pie too. I bet this slices at least a pound. Oh. Ooh, look at that. On your birthday you can leave all that bacon grease in the pan. Doesn't count. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Truffle hot sauce, gotta have that. Happy birthday to me. Alright, I'm gonna murder this. I'll be back with you in a little bit. We'll find something fun to do around here. Oh man, the bacon grease and the eggs just does it. That was freaking great. I was just thinking, if the rain comes in this afternoon, or if it continues all afternoon and evening, I have to light this fire now. Having just dumped bacon grease all over it, I can't just let it sit like this. That's one problem with cooking bacon out here, is there's no place to get rid of the grease. And it's already like 11 o'clock, so there'll probably only be one more meal for the day. If I got a fire going, I could eat this afternoon. It's a little bit chilly, I gotta admit. It's like snowing 50 miles from here. And there you go, just started raining. What you gonna do? Man, that bacon grease goes up, doesn't it? I say let's go for a walk, shall we? We go down to the shooting range, take all our goods with us, but maybe make a lap around the property and have a look at some mushrooms. You know, that left side of the shooting range I built specifically so I could set it up as different stages in the speed steel shooting competitions, and I still haven't set up one of them yet, mostly because it takes brain power to do. I don't have every piece of steel they have in the competitions at the exact size, and I don't have the room to go out 30 or 40 yards. But, you know, my thinking, you guys probably remember, is if you got a 20-inch target at 30 yards, isn't that the same as a 10-inch target at 15 yards? As far as the shooter's concerned? So I'm going to grab my notepad. I sketched out all the, whatever it is, 4, 5, 6, 7 different stages and how they're set up. We'll just have to do some calculate and see if we can move stuff around to make it, you know, somewhat realistic. Of course, I don't know which notebook it's in. My sketches. I'm pretty sure I drew them all out. I just written out what the longest, shortest, widest, narrowest shots were on any of the setups. But I think I have these all saved in my computer. I'm scrolling through the different configurations. Could probably do most of them. Like, here's an example. These two are 18 by 24 plates and they're 35 yards out, so I'm just thinking I'd half the distance, use my 12-inch round plates. This is the only one I saw. This is 5 12-inch plates, so I think we should just do this one. That way we don't have to screw with any mathematics. It's also going to be fun. I mean, I've seen this on YouTube before. I don't watch a bunch of it or anything. It's just something I came across that looked really fun. But I don't have, there's like techniques to all this, you know, shoot these plates first and then those. I don't know any of that stuff. I just think it's fun to screw around and try to figure stuff out myself. It looks like with all of these, there is one plate that you have to hit to stop the timer. So you get a beep, you have to shoot all the plates, and just one of them has to be the last one. And when you hit that one, the timer stops. And I think you can shoot any of them as many times as you want. Like you can miss once you hit it, and you can hit the rest of them. And I don't think order makes any difference except for that one plate. So yeah, let's go do this one. You don't have to go far to find weird mushroom gardens. Ah, so cool. It's like from a fairy tale or something. You know, it's kind of interesting to look at things like mushrooms if you know nothing about them, because you might be able to intuit some things that you could learn from a book. But one thing I've noticed is that you don't see, there are no mushrooms laying around this area. Seems to me they're looking for something that's already lost its natural defenses. So you'll see them growing on, you cut a tree down and a short time later you'll see mushrooms growing on it. You don't see them growing on live trees all that much. But once something's down and already just started to break down a little bit, it seems to me like mushrooms are just looking for that really easy source of nutrients. They don't want something they have to work too hard at. Unfortunately, all I see over here is a bunch of down trees with sections cut out of them, where I milled up a section of the tree and then never took care of the rest of it. That was a down tree. Oh yeah, there's fungus all over the end of it. That was a down tree. There's a piece out of it. You can see cut off with the chainsaw there. Cut off with the chainsaw there, probably to get in here. Oh yeah, because this one had fallen down, busted off. Cut a chunk out of it, milled it up. Same over there. It's kind of like a boneyard here. I'm certainly no mycologist, but I'm guessing those are ink caps. I only know ink caps from when they break down. They just turn to goo. You guys remember when Tito and my cousin and I were out here shooting arrows, and those two boneheads were lobbing arrows from like 125 yards onto the shooting range? And they just kept shooting them until they were almost all gone. Just found the third one. That is the third one that I found without actually looking for them. There we go. I really need to take more time just to wander around in the woods. Most of my life, that's been one of my favorite things to do. Even if you only go 100 yards in an hour just to like walk around and look at stuff and pick up stuff and smell stuff. It's really, really enjoyable. Oh yeah, here's a spot we did some milling. I think this was for Tito's floor or something. This was the first place we used a big mill when I got it, the 36-inch mill. Yeah, I think that tree was tipped over there, and it appears like we never took care of the rest of this log. It's the story of this side of the property, I guess. Well, I kind of chickened out a little bit since it's hunting season. I don't want to go too deep into the woods and get shot without an orange vest on. I had to run up and grab some wrenches to tighten up the targets. And since we blew up that pumpkin, I have some extra 30-30 shells to finish my table. Much more classy hangers. Tighten these up, give them a little spritzing. We're of course not going to measure this, we're just going to walk it out. 7 yards, 2 feet. 1, 2. Oh looks pretty reasonable. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but it looks really fun to shoot. I'm just gonna check it one more time. So 7 yards, then 10 yards, then 15 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 and 3. The only one I had to move is the green one. That's a 8-inch plate instead of a 12-inch plate, so I brought it 1/3 closer. Does that make sense? I don't know. So the question is, what order do you shoot them in? I think that is the last one you have to shoot, so it makes sense to me to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep in mind there might be a lot of other rules I'm unaware of, but let's try it. Oh, also, something I think I remember. I think when you're shooting 22, you don't draw. I think you have the gun out, you're pointed like low ready. I think they put like a flag or something out, so you start with a round in the chamber, safety off, pointed at that, beep, and then you go ahead and shoot them all. And then I think with every other caliber, you draw. I think you might have your hands up and then you draw and shoot. I don't know. We're not going to do any of that. I mean, maybe eventually we will, if I want to figure out how you're supposed to really do this, but let's just do it our own way for now. All right, should we try one nice and slow? See if we can actually hit them. That seems easy enough. How fast are you supposed to go? .314, time to beat. Oh, ran out, missed the last one. I can already see you push yourself a little bit past where you can go, and then you've got to make up time by hitting the ones you missed. Woo. 309. Is that, you think that's world record pace? I think it must be. .295. Yeah, I wonder what a good speed is for this. I also wonder if I'm doing it right at all. Doesn't matter, it's fun. Starting to get dark and, oh wow. Yeah, it's gonna rain a lot in a minute. Okay. All right, couple more times, couple more times. Missed the last one. Oh yeah, you're supposed to keep going, I forget. Keep going if you miss, keep going. Yeah, it's a challenge when you're trying to go fast and you whiff one to come back to it. Maybe you keep going and then come back and then finish. I have no idea. Woo, 293. Is that the fastest yet? One more time, one more time. In the rain. .280. Oh. It's raining, it's raining. Oh, I really wanted to get the hot tub lit up before the rain came in too. Try to get that water up to temp. Can't help it, it's too much fun, it's too much fun. Why am I saying everything twice? Twice. You know, I kind of forget, after being out here in the woods for so long, I forget that if I get a little wet now, it's fine. I have like a warm, dry place to go. If I get rained on for 10 minutes, even significantly rained on, I could have come in here, turned the heat on, changed my clothes, would have been no big deal. Weird what gets locked into your brain after a while. Well, it's 60 in here. I'm gonna turn the heater on. And then we'll go have a look at lighting that hot tub. Even if it's raining, that's all right, right? Yep, that's all right. You know, even though I only got to shoot 4 or 5 magazines at that, that was incredibly fun. I did shoot at those targets a lot when I first made them, but it wasn't set up in any way. They were just kind of like lined out there. So I think I'm going to leave it set up the way it is now. On days it's not raining, I'm going to go out there and shoot it a bunch. And maybe in 2, 3, 4 weeks, I don't know, I'll go out and change it to a different one. Eventually, someday, if I can figure out how to fit all the targets in there and I can make every stage work, then I'll pound in, like, I don't know, little sticks, little posts, so that I can easily just rearrange the targets to each different stage. At least that's the thought. I don't know. Maybe I'll never do it. Maybe I will. Oh, I was just on my way out the door and then I fell down on the couch, but you know, when it's your birthday, you're allowed to do that. I had to look up the targets there, and I was shooting them in the wrong order. The way the picture shows it, I thought the stop plate was the second one, all the way to the right and top, but it's actually the middle one, so I was doing it wrong. And a fast time doing that is about 1.5 seconds. So that's good. With most things, I figure if I can get double the time, I'm doing pretty well. I was never a good athlete, but when I did marathon running and triathlons and Ironman and stuff like that, my times were a little less than double the fastest people, and I felt pretty good about that. Let's borrow a couple of those, shall we? I was gonna hang out by the fire for an hour or something until the hot tub's ready, but just realized it's the water in there is probably at least 20 degrees cooler than it was party week. So that's got to be at least another half an hour, 40 minutes it's gonna take to get up to temp. So I'm gonna go roll down the movie theater and watch half a movie till I'm hungry or the tub's ready. Oh yeah, I forgot, this might not work in broad daylight. I've been working in my up here on some pretty wild window coverings. I wanted to do something really bizarre. I don't want to just put some fabric and, you know, you roll it up or something. And as you guys might have saw party week, one of my gifts from Sarah and her aunt is this whole hide, cowhide with fur on it and everything. It doesn't fit all the windows, unfortunately. So I have half of just a leather hide as well. Those two together are like exactly the right square inchage for the windows, but of course they're weird shapes. You can't get every square inch out of it. So I'm still working on it, but it would be just for something like this. If you wanted to watch a movie in the middle of the day, you can drop those really thick furry window shades. We'll see. Keep an eye out in the future video. When it comes out, you'll know that you and I figured out how to make something like that. Has there been a single video in the last few months that didn't involve reeling down this coffee table? Probably not. It's because I think it's super rad. Alright, let's see if it plays. I've been wanting to see War of the Worlds on my big screen for quite a while. Last time we tried watching it, I let it download for 24 hours and it didn't download the whole thing. It was still going. So now I gave it 48 and it appears to be there. Will it play? Go ahead, kick your feet up. Stay a while. I'm not a movie freak at all. I don't generally watch all that many movies, but there's something about sitting in a tiny little cabin like this out in the woods with no electricity and watching an action movie on a big screen. It's just kind of a mind bender. I love it. Let's see where we are here. Ooh, it's steaming. That's a good sign. 98. Nice. Couple more minutes. Have a quick soak, eat a steak, and then have a long soak. And then finish my movie. It's really not too funky. I guess it didn't get used that much in party week. Now this is hot tub weather. Just about to hop in and I forgot to take the logs out, so you don't get smoked out the whole time. Even remembered to bring a fine quality ginger beer with me. Glory on high. Oh, it feels so good. Yeah, 104. 10, which I think is about 102. This got to be the best birthday on record. I'm going to make a suggestion that for your next birthday, even if you're not into birthdays, you try to mash up as many of your absolute favorite things into one day as possible. I mean, you don't want to make it crazy hectic, but just see how many you can string together. The good thing about it is you don't need a party, and it works out just fine if you're alone. It's actually easier when you're alone, because you might have some weird ideas of what's fun, and you don't have to deal with anybody else's input or judgment on your idea of fun. 45 degrees and a little bit of drizzle sure does make this thing pop. You know, when I built this as a heated year-round shower, it did not cross my mind that this would make a great heated changing room for the hot tub. When you're wet and it's chilly outside, it's kind of nice to have a place like this to put your clothes on. I can't stop thinking about that A5 Wagyu steak that Tito brought. Was that last year? I think it was last year. And finally, just a couple weeks ago, I got online and read about what it is and how it's grown and all that stuff. And after after watching videos about that steak, everything else looks like garbage. You can't get a great steak around this area, but you know, you roast any piece of beef over an open fire out in the woods by yourself, it'll taste pretty good. In this spirit of this day where I mash together all my favorite things, I'm going to throw in here all my favorite things too. Onion, garlic, whole bunch of butter, bunch of mushrooms, and some truffles. Mix it all together, and I'm going to dump it over top of all my food. How's that sound? Delicious? It'll be good. Well, I wasn't going to do all this, but what else am I going to use it for? Oh no! I was just going to say I almost forgot the $1 million truffle. It's got mold on it. Yep, that was kind of the point of the whole thing, is to use up this last truffle. Well, it'll still eat. Oh, look at that. It cooked like a cup. Well, let's just put it all in there. That's good. That'll fit on the potatoes too. Listen, I prefer to eat outside, but there's warm and dry in there. Even if we don't need it, let's have a little romantic oil lamp light. Shan't we? I thought I was having a nice early dinner, and turns out it's already 6 o'clock. I was thinking I'd go down and shoot one more round, then sit in the hot tub, then finish the movie, so I could do this day twice, but I don't think there's time. Well, there's time to soak in the tub, finish the movie, but probably not shoot today. Let's see how we did on the steak. Usually a meal like this I only have if other people are around, and 9 times out of 10, Tito's the one cooking the meat. Oh man, the mushrooms and onions are great. Weirdly enough, if I didn't know, I would have thought there was truffle in this. Those mushrooms are super flavorful. Okay, you don't want to watch me eat. You want to watch me eat the whole thing? Put a little of that on there. Oh. I usually read something or listen to a podcast or a book while I eat, but not this one. I just have to focus. All right, I'm gonna finish this, and if I'm still alive, I'll see you in a minute. It was just too much. I should have stopped, but I powered through the end of it. I was just thinking, if you watch these videos pretty regularly, you probably think I eat steak a lot. I do like to eat steak on special occasions, parties, birthdays. And those special events tend to be videoed. But I'm guessing in the last few years, you've seen every single steak I've eaten. It's easily 9 nights out of 10. I have a salad for dinner and a couple apples. Yeah, this kind of messed me up. It was worth it though, it's delicious. And I'm sorry for bad mouthing the local steak dealer. That was actually really good steak. Okay, now somebody just run along and do the dishes, would you? I gotta go lay in the hot tub. I'll do them. You just do whatever it is you do. Ooh, candy corn. So stupid. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on my birthday. In about 8 minutes, it's going to be too dark to film out here anyway, so we'll see you next week. If the weather's good in the next couple days, I'll go back. I've just started a little bit on my kitchen, so I'll either go back to that, or if the weather's crap, I don't know, I'm going to keep working, try to figure out how to make furry shades inside the cabin there. I've got my sewing machines here and everything. Something will come together. Oh, look at more mushrooms. Aren't they cute? Okay, I'm sure you've got something pressing you need to get back to, so go ahead. I'll see you next week.